Alright, a lot of DMs are probably going to hate me for this one. Hello nerds and nerdettes, welcome to Mana Brains. So I have recently entered 2 different D&D campaigns. One of which is run by one of my friends and the other is run by my wife. And since these 2 people are very close to me, I have taken it upon myself to torment them by playing wizards. So on today's docket we have Acid Splash, which states that you hurl a bubble of acid, choose 1 or 2 creatures you can see within range. If you choose 2, they must be within 5 feet of each other. A target must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take 1d6 acid damage. And then it just increases by your current level. Depending on what your level is, it might go up by more damage. So, let's go through the implications of what that spell provides. One being is the spontaneous production of acid. It doesn't give an exact dimension of the amount of acid that is being produced, but it can affect up to 2 people within 5 feet, so we'll say at least 5 cubic feet worth of acid. Although one particular thing that stands out to me is the fact that it does damage. Now in D&D this is not a particularly new concept, but in order for something to be strong enough to cause chemical burns, it has to have a pH of 4 or less. Now this spell is designed to be a ranged weapon predominantly used during combat. But the thing with cantrips is that they're designed to be a little bit more malleable. So with that being said, there have been 3 ways I've figured out in order to break this thing. First of which being lucrative side businesses. So for example, let's say you can produce sulfuric acid or nitric acid. Both of those either have sulfates or nitrates, and as a result can be distilled down into fertilizer. Now that kind of brings us to number 2. 1.5, which is that you can use this to make explosions. I'm not going to dig into the physics or chemistry behind that, mostly because I don't know what the legality of that is. I would recommend checking out like Nile Red's YouTube channel if you do want to check out that stuff, even though I'm pretty sure even he doesn't go that far, but that is a thing. So the next one I've been able to kind of figure out is to create batteries. Now this one I believe would be sulfuric acid specifically because you can make lead batteries. But there's a bunch of knock-on effects that you can have by mass-producing electricity. I'll leave your imagination to kind of see how you would run with that. If you have any ideas, leave them in the comments below, because medieval battery technology could be interesting, including starting cults. I digress though. But the last one I've been able to kind of figure out, and this is a little bit more like the widely ranged one, but the applicability of this one might be a little bit more niche. Since you can corrode things with acid, depending on the strength of the acid that your DM allows, you can do things like corrode locks, melt barriers, rust metal, stuff like that, which that stuff can either crumble small businesses so you can destroy their inventory, or you could also just break into places. I think that's how I'm probably going to use this cantrip going forward, but these are just a few ways I've been able to figure out. If you can come up with ideas, please let me know down in the comments below. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.